Hi, my name is John Jordan, and I'm co-founder of Go Local Interactive. This is the second video in a series that we're creating dealing with how to build a strong digital foundation from the ground up. In the first video, we used a house analogy. And in that house analogy, we described that your website is typically considered the foundation of your success from a digital marketing perspective. We also discussed how local listings, claiming your listings on Google, Apple, Bing, and Yelp can establish local relevance with the search engines, how SEO can ensure crawlability and readability of your site, and how content can establish topical relevance. Those three make up your organic strategy. We kind of use the analogy of a stool sitting in the middle of your home with three legs on it, and all three legs are critical to organic success. Once you've created that organic strategy, we talked about paid media being that supplemental tactic that can help us increase our exposure and drive leads where we need them, to which facilities we need them, when we need them. Today, we're going to expand a bit in this second video on website and analytics and exactly how they play a role in your strong digital marketing strategy. So first and foremost, when I say website, we're going to lump in with website analytics, meaning anything we do to capture data and ensure the quality of the data that we're capturing through our website. That would include your user experience and understanding how users kind of navigate through the website and creating a clear conversion path for those users. The first thing we need to talk about is, what is the purpose of the website? What are the goals we have for the website? Those can be quite simple. We're trying to sell a product or a service. We're trying to generate leads to our business, potentially inform the user more about a particular topic, entertain, or to serve our customers in some capacity, potentially allowing them to manage their account or take some form of action once they're an existing customer. To present data in some format, or just simply to connect with them, to give them the ability to connect with us in an online format. There are other goals that can be set for a website, but these are some of the clear purposes that most clients have for their websites. And I think it's critical that when we're first starting a web build that we understand which of these are our specific goals or purpose of the website, and then we can start to establish metrics and KPIs that tie into each of those goals so that they can be tracked and we can kind of measure our success over time. So once we have that purpose established, it's all about tracking and the quality of the data we're capturing to show us clearly if we're accomplishing our purpose or our goal for the website or not through those various digital marketing efforts. The second thing we talk about is the hosting environment. You might think of it as a very simple thing, but it's a very important aspect of website marketing and the success of your website is having an environment that is both secure and stable. From a secure perspective, we're talking about secure from anyone that might be trying to hack the website, to capture your users' data, or just in general cause havoc with the functionality on your site. So creating a secure environment is very important. Also, the hosted environment that it sits in, you've heard about the cloud. The cloud is the most stable environment that we utilize. We personally, as an agency, we use AWS, Amazon Web Services, and we believe it's has the strongest uptime of all the options that are out there. And we have an environment that's secure and safe for our clients so that they can check that box and make sure that they have all of the security and uptime protocols necessary to kind of not be concerned about that aspect anymore, only be concerned about the marketing that flows through the site. The next piece is data quality. We really want to make sure that all the data that's being compiled is accurate. And there's a lot of ways to do this. I'll give you a couple of examples. One example would be to exclude your own internal IP traffic. Our own employee visits to the websites can sometimes skew our perception of how the site is performing, not only from a how many people are visiting the site perspective and counting those existing employee visits as potential customers, but also also, it skews our perception of what those customers are actually doing when they're on the website, because our own employees are going to act differently. They're going to navigate through the site in a different way than an average or typical customer would. So we want to try to exclude that traffic from our data collection efforts and ensure that we're really truly looking at our true customer interactions. Another example would be excluding bot and known sources of spam traffic. You would think, again, that this is kind of a common thing that's being done, but most of the time when we do our research, we find that known sources of spam and bot traffic are not being currently excluded. And a lot of the data that our customers or potential customers are viewing is skewed, and because it has all of this traffic included that's not real traffic, not real human beings. Rather, it's computers that are sending bots to your website to gather and collect some type of information. This is really prominent in the storage industry, as people are constantly crawling your site to try to gather rate information and look at and compare to their own rates and unit availability data that they house. So we try to exclude all those sources, again, in an effort to ensure the quality of the data we're collecting so that we can, on a monthly basis, really draw more sound conclusions from the data that we're interpreting. I mentioned this earlier, but the next thing we want to talk about is goals and KPI setup. It's really important through all of our accounts, Google Analytics being the most critical, that we have clear goals set up and clear conversion paths that we've thought through and try to understand how is a user going to navigate through the site to accomplish each of these individual goals, and what do those goals mean to us as an organization. What does it mean when we get a reservation? What's the value of that reservation relative to an online rental, let's say? There are various types of goals. They can be as simple as a phone call or a phone call over a certain duration. There can be contact form submission goals. There can be, as we mentioned, online reservations, online rentals. We can even have some goals of specific types of interactions we want with existing customers. Are they logging in to make online payments? Are we seeing a high percentage of our existing customers who log in engaging with tools that we give them to get set up on auto payment, as an example? So there's lots of different types of goals that we can set for our organization, and just making sure that we're capturing as much data as we can as it pertains to those goals and any other KPIs we have set as an organization is really important to get done right from the get-go. I mentioned this earlier, but having clear conversion paths, this really takes some thought and thinking through, again, what is the purpose of our site? What are we trying to accomplish? And what's the path for the user to get to that purpose, to that end goal, and making sure that we're making it a smooth transition from whether they're on desktop or mobile device, that they can easily navigate through to whatever it is they're seeking to accomplish on the site. And then the final piece we talked about throughout, which is just tracking. And again, there's lots of forms of tracking, but ensuring that all the proper forms are in place so that we can not only differentiate the sources of our different traffic to the site, say your organic search traffic versus direct traffic where people bookmarked your website and are coming directly to you, or paid traffic that you might be paying on a per click basis to drive that user to your site. We want to be able to track all those users as they're coming through the site and understand what actions did they take, what goals were attained as a result of those visits from people to the site. That will give us a much better way to interpret and understand the value of the investment you're making in each of those areas. Once we've kind of buttoned this piece up, the next piece is to really get all of the accounts set up and really understanding what accounts are tied to our data collection, our website and analytics that are going to be most critical for us to collect this level of data. These are the most common ones, certainly not all of the tools that are leveraged for websites, but the most common ones that we use as an agency here. You can see a lot of Google products represented in addition to one Bing product. We utilize Google Analytics, Google Search Console, Google Tag Manager, Google Ads, and Bing Webmasters as our primary tools for data collection. Again, ensuring that all of these are set up properly, that they have your goals, they're set up at a facility level is going to be critically important to us better understanding the results that are derived from all of the effort we're going to put in from a digital marketing perspective. So again, these should be task number one in terms of really trying to get our data collection and data integrity buttoned up once our website is underway. Once all of that's in place, then we start to look at the site's launched, we're collecting data, what can we do to improve? So there's lots of user experience types of tests that can be run. A few examples here, like video testing, heat mapping, heuristic analysis. There's a lot of different ways to capture data. The most important thing to understand about user experience testing is that it's kind of never done. You can always look for continuous opportunities to improve. You run these tests, like say a video test, example of which would be, let's say that we give a half dozen users a task that they need to accomplish on your website. We give them those marching orders, turn them loose on your website. We record that session and we have them audibly talking to us as they go through the process of trying to complete this task so that we can better understand how the average user interprets your website and what it takes for them to navigate through and find their way to accomplish certain tasks. This can be a really great way because we spend a lot of time on our websites and things may seem like they're very easy and user-friendly, but until we actually see a customer try to walk through that same process on our site, it can sometimes be misleading how easy or not that process really is to, or that goal is to actually attain. So once we have that data that's collected, in this instance, a video test, we can then have learnings that come from that, and we may trial some new changes to the website to improve that user experience, make it easier for that customer to navigate. We can use, say, an A/B test where half of the users see this variation of the site and the other half see another variation. And then we can come back and evaluate, did we see a higher likelihood of users to convert went with a test A or test B, and then we can make those adjustments and kind of continuously try to get better. We don't necessarily have to say it's one and done in terms of A/B testing. We can learn something and then we can try to improve upon it again and then again and again and try to see until we get the best possible result and then kind of roll it out across all locations or facilities. So the most important thing here is to understand that it's a continuous process, that we need to always be trying to capture data, figure out, are we making this as easy as possible for our customers, and then kind of going from there. That's really it for today. I promised I would keep it short and sweet. Again, just want to make sure that in this series that we try to help educate and help you understand exactly what kind of efforts are underway as it relates to digital marketing. This being the first step in a really important process of kind of building from the ground up a strong digital marketing program, and that's getting the website in place, making sure the website can accomplish all of the goals that you're seeking to attain through potential visitors or users on the site, making sure that those are all set up to track, that the data integrity is there for all of those users who flow through the site, that we can feel confident that these are actual users and not our own employees or bots or spam traffic, and that we're actually collecting data that's meaningful and then will drive some future decisions in terms of testing and really in an A/B environment, video testing, heat mapping, et cetera, and trying to collect data to continuously get better. Again, I hope you join us for the rest of the videos in this series. My name is John Jordan. It's Go Local Interactive, and until the next one.